Whispers float in empty halls. Footsteps echo down the walls. Shadows break where secrets lie. Every echo holds a hidden sign. Blow the trace along the crime, a hush that haunts the night, a fear that lives in light. Unravel lines of twisted lies. In the dark, the story waits unseen.
And here we go.
Hey guys, so I wanted to make a quick video, and this is more of like a teaching video because I like people to kind of understand the process and how I kind of bring everything together to try to locate people. That is not always easy to do. Sometimes I have to use different methods and put everything together, and the spirits have been very helpful in this, honestly. So this is about Isabella Comas, and I've been working and sending information to her stepdad for a little bit now. And it was very confusing at first because there's a lot of misdirection. The perpetrator is a Gemini, allegedly, and he has driven everywhere and made it very hard to locate Isabella. The astrology was confusing. Everything was confusing in the beginning, but this is why I say sometimes you have to let things breathe and you have to give them time, because everything has time. And so that's why I kind of want to make this a video. He's already aware of it. I've already sent him the information, but I like to teach you guys the process and explain like the experiences that I have, because they're kind of cool sometimes. So basically, I started using the EVP differently than I ever have on any cases. I was using the Spirit Talker, but I started using the Ghost Box. And yes, the Ghost Box can be any case or whatever, but my spirits seem to be very helpful lately. But basically I had gotten gold, the word gold in the EVP and the word globe in the EVP. Now we know global. In her case, that the perpetrator drove out to Globe. I've never thought that she was that far, that she was there, because I felt like it was a misdirection, another misdirection, and he was seen on camera there. So I never thought that she was out in Globe. There was never any ninth house emphasis in her chart to suggest that she was 90 miles away. But in the EVP, it said Globe, so I felt like it was a directional marker, because then there was gold. Now, I just hang on to stuff because I don't know what case it belongs to sometimes. I didn't know if it belonged to Nancy. I didn't know it belonged to her. I didn't know what gold was at the time. And so as you guys know, I've been working on Nancy, but I've kind of also been working on Bella on the side. I've been waiting for hopefully a dream or new insight, because sometimes that's what I have to do, because again, everything comes down to timing. Sometimes, again, you have to let the case breathe until you're given a new piece of the puzzle. That's how this works. You can't just force things to work in your own timing. Everybody gets found when and if and how they're supposed to be found. So sometimes I have GPS dreams, and I've told you guys about this. There's been 3 instances where I've had, or actually, 3 instances where I've had dreams of GPS locations, and it's more or less describing it, and then I have to find it on the map of specific markers, and those people have been found where the dreams have said. I don't have it a lot. It's something that's I always take as a gift, because it's something that's rare. But I've been noticing my dreaming has kind of upped the ante a little bit since Neptune entered into Aries out of the slow Pisces. So Neptunes are like dreams and, your intuition and things like that. And entering into Aries, things are a little bit clearer than they were in Pisces. So I have to wonder if that has something to do with it. So last night I went to sleep, and I had a lot of other dreams around this dream. And sometimes that's how it is like I'll have the dreams I don't remember, and then I'll have the GPS dreams that I remember. So the REM pod started going off. I could hear it when I was sleeping, because I've been sleeping on the couch so that Starlight could run around. But I could hear it going off. And during the dream, I was shown a map similar to how I was in another case, into the other GPS case with the Sam Houston National Forest case, where I had dreamed of Sam Houston National Forest. I got the word Waverly, and I woke up and I found Sam Houston National Forest, and I found the case that it belonged to. There's a video about that on my channel, but she ended up being found in Sam Houston National Forest. So I tend to always pay attention again to my dreams. So this was similar. I was shown, like I was looking at a map up from up high, and I kept getting the name of a word Apache, and I said, well, Apache doesn't really go with Nancy. It's too far for her. And we know that he was seen on Apache Trail and Globe, but I was taking it as maybe Apache Junction in Phoenix. And so I go back to, I'm like, well, maybe this is about Bella. This dream is about Bella, dreams and stuff. But there's one part where I was seeing a map from above. And in the map, it was this city, and it had a golf course. Remember, I've been telling you I've been dreaming about golf courses, and I didn't know why. I think this has something to do with it. I've also gotten a golf course when I've pulled cards for Bella. Doesn't mean that there's not one involved with Nancy, because I get a golf course card with that. It can just be a marker. But in this case, I think it's a marker. So in the dream, I was getting like a city, and I was getting a golf course, and I was getting the word Apache. And I was seeing like I was looking at a map. Okay. So when I wake up, I'm like, okay, so I'm looking for Nancy. I'm like, there's nothing really Apache related that would make any sense for her that I'm looking at. So I'm like, I had the clarity, maybe it's for Bella. So I go and I pull up Bella's map, and I'm like, okay, let's pull up Apache Junction. I pull up Apache Junction, and I kind of zoom out, and there's Gold Canyon. Now going back to the EVPs, the EVP said gold. The EVP said globe. Gold Canyon is halfway to globe. I started freaking out, because guess what surrounds Gold Canyon? Golf courses. It looks like it did in my stupid dream. And a few days ago, I had been seeing Bella in kind of like in the desert randomly. Okay, wrapped up in the desert randomly. And so I went back to my astrology chart, and I reread it, and I re-looked at things, and I re-looked at aspects, and I asked questions. And before, it looks like she was possibly stored close to home, and that's why I was getting close to last known location, and why I was focusing on that, because it seems like she was close to last known location. In the cards, you can get different pieces of the puzzle and different parts of the journey, so in different parts of the story. So I think originally he had her close and he had her stored, but then he moved her when he went to Globe. And I had started over the last few days expanding my search without knowing this about the astrology yet, in looking at superstitious mountains and halfway onto Globe, until I received this EVP, and I just put it in my back pocket. Well, then I had the dream of literally the city and the golf course and the word Apache that they kept repeating, and I woke up with it. Now, the same thing happened in that other case where I kept having the word Waverly till I woke up with it and remembered it. So I was supposed to remember it. Literally, again, you split off and you go to, I'll show you guys on the map. It's very interesting. And there's something else that came in last night that kind of puts this together. Not only that, like I said, the REM pod was going off this entire time. So if you guys can see, this is what I was looking at. So in my dream, I was kind of shown like this without the Gold Canyon. Hold on, let me show you what it looked like. It kind of looked like this. Okay, I didn't have Gold Canyon on it, but I knew that there was a golf course around here and a city. So that's what I was seeing in my dream, right? And then I was getting the word Apache. Apache Junction, because I woke up with thinking maybe it was Apache Junction, which it didn't make sense for Nancy. Apache Junction is right here, okay? And then it splits off, which I always get the crossroads, so I can't help but wonder. So again, the EVP said Gold Canyon. Here's gold, or not Gold Canyon. It said the word gold. The EVP said the word gold. Well, there's Gold Canyon right next to Apache. And what surrounds it but freaking golf courses? It looks like it did in my stupid dream. And what's it surrounded by? Desert. Then last night on the EVP, we got the bench. Look, there's a place called the bench right there. So I find that super interesting too, as another sort of marker, right? Come on, reset to north. So I was like, the bench, when that came in the EVP last night when we were listening on the live. So I can't help but wonder, because again, this is halfway to Globe. Literally you come down here, Queen, and then you can go up here and you can get to Apache Trail Globe, which, yes, Apache, he was allegedly seen on Apache Trail and Globe. And what's interesting is I was coming towards Superstitious Mountains when I when I started to expand out. Now, what I noticed and what I had to double check today was if there was anything to account for this location in the chart. Like, is there any kind of aspects that could push her out a little bit further than what I was looking for? Because there's no ninth house emphasis to put her in globe. I didn't feel like she was in globe at all. There's a Jupiter aspect that expands her distance a little bit, so could put her halfway. And I was looking for halfway because I had the thought, what if he just dropped her like on the way to globe? But in Gold Canyon or this area, because it's literally the middle of nothing. I'm not promising that that's where she's at. I'm not saying that, and I've already sent the information to her dad. It's worth a check. Because whenever I have dreams like this, they're important. And I want to put this video out to kind of teach you guys how the dreams, EVPs, cards, cases, sometimes, again, you have to let things breathe and allow new pieces of information to come in. And I say that because everybody wants some sort of, right now, you're psychic, you should know right now, and it doesn't work like that. Everything has a timing. Soul contracts have a timing. So we can get bits and pieces of puzzles on the way. Now, again, the spirits have been very helpful in this, and I always tell you guys it's not just one case. So I have to keep in mind the other cases that I'm working when things come in. And gold and globe, when I heard globe, I was like, well, that's Bella. And I think that's why it was said, because it is in the direction of that. But Gold Canyon is literally right there. And it looks like it did in my stupid dream. And so when I woke up this morning, I was like, it doesn't make sense for Nancy, because there's no like area that's looking like this in the map that I can find next to Apache or anything like that. So it made me go to Isabella. And I'll be damned if all of that isn't fitting right there. And I feel like she's in a random desert. So all that's surrounded by desert. It's very remote. It's halfway. The chart extends for it with Jupiter aspect. So it makes sense. So again, this video was just to kind of teach you guys and kind of explain the process sometimes of how I can get locations. And I love when they give me GPS dreams, because it makes my job so much freaking easier, because it takes my mind out of it, and it also shows me something to look for. And then you kind of put the puzzle pieces together where you say, oh crap, there's gold. Oh man, that came in the EVP. Okay, wait, there's golf courses around it. Holy crap. But for some reason, I was meant to hear Apache. The same thing kind of happened in that other case where I heard Waverly. Not that she was in Waverly, but Waverly was on the other side of Sam Houston. So whatever word they can give me that I will wake up remembering, that is what they do, and they will repeat it. And so that's like whenever I say, like, I had a GPS dream for Sebastian. I think he's in a pond somewhere. Can't promise that he's in the pond that I gave you guys, but the astrology leads there and the map seems to match it. So this is how, like, I just try to teach you guys my process and how things work, the way that I work. Not everybody works that way, but I use separate tools and different tools and kind of bring everything together. Again, it's puzzle pieces. I'm connecting the dots and I'm connecting the puzzle pieces. And so she could possibly be in this location. I always tell people I can't promise, but it needs to be checked out because of the dream and the connections that we're looking at. And again, a drone probably, I can't say exactly where she's at in that area, but we're not usually given exact locations. We're given an area to check, or so probably, that stretch of desert right there. So it's a lot. I know it's like going to be a lot to check, and hopefully there's something to find, but I'm hoping that this can help her family in some way, and hopefully they're okay with me making this video as a teaching modality to you guys now, and documenting the process, because I think it's important to document this process. Not necessarily I'm right, or it could be for validation, but basically documenting and teaching is why I do this part, because I think a lot of people have misconceptions on how cases work, how timing works, how location works, and hopefully this explains it a little bit more. Now, it's not always like this. I don't always receive dreams. I was lucky to receive a dream in this. I was lucky to receive the dream I did on Nancy. Unfortunately, it wasn't a complete location dream on Nancy, but it gave me the idea of what I was kind of looking for. This is more of a location dream of what I usually have, a GPS type dream. I've had them several times now. I think this is like the 6th or 7th one I've had. And again, I think 3 or 4 of those have hit locations where people were found. So I tend to listen to them. And the fact that a REM pod was going off the entire time I was having the dream, how can you dream with the REM pod going off? I don't know. I could hear it, and it was almost like they were giving me the information. I think the same thing happened with Nancy's dream, if I remember right. I don't know. So I just wanted to, again, put that out to document, to explain. Hopefully I explained that good enough.